Hi, this is Patty Liang, Executive Director of Deaf Spotlight. We are thrilled to welcome a special guest today, Cassidy.
Thank you for having me.
We are so happy you're here. You may have seen her work under the hashtag
Hmm.
InBetweenUs. That's hashtag
Yeah, it's confusing. Yeah,
I
it's
know, I
confusing.
know. You may have seen her work on Instagram and Facebook under the hashtag InBetweenUs, in which she photographed people through the windows of their homes during quarantine. We'll be learning more about that project later in the interview. Kat is a mother, a photographer, and a twin sister. She documents, she captures life's moments with her camera. And Kat, I like your metaphor that a lens to a photographer is like a pen to a writer, that light is the ink with which photographers write. What a cool metaphor. How did you come up with that idea?
Well, honestly, the word photography itself means light. It means to write with light. And that makes sense because if we didn't have light, we wouldn't be able to take pictures. It would be impossible. So once I learned the meaning of the word, I just made that connection. It's like we really need light to take pictures. And I know pictures aren't words and I'm not writing anything down, but we're putting light to the paper. And with my camera, I feel as if I'm an author. I'm an author with light.
On your website, I saw your anthem and I thought it was intriguing. It says, "Life is a collection of perfect experiences which endlessly unfold." How did you come across this enlightenment?
Growing up, we've all felt this need to try and achieve perfection, and everybody has a different idea of what perfection looks like. And even in movies and books and with photography, we try to recreate these stories and show these perfect experiences. And we've all heard that no one's perfect, but for me, the experience, whatever it is perfect. People say it is what it is, or that's life, or whatever happens, good, suffering, bad. It's not what you want; it's how you get it. I think that's what I'm saying. It's the experience itself is perfection.
You know what's funny is when I started following the two of you, I thought that you were one person. I didn't realize that you were actually twins. And then I realized, oh, you were twins. But what's very
Yes,
cool about that is that
yes.
I actually wasn't really sure. You were so similar, but you obviously have such different styles and unique styles. And I wonder, what does that collaboration look like?
My twin sister and I have always shared a very similar dream of being a traveling photographer, and she's able to do that full time. She is completely delved into it, and that's what she does. But I have another source of income, even though photography is a huge passion of mine. We've always said we've wished we could do a collaboration of doing a wedding together, but we just have never had the chance. I mean, we've always like made movies together when we were kids, and we're so good with each other. We don't even have to speak our mind. We can just look at each other. Like we're not allowed to be on the same team in Pictionary because we'll just make eye contact and we know what the clue is. That's why I was looking like this to the side because my sister right now, Claire's taking pictures of me while I'm talking to you.
Hi.
Hello,
Nice to meet
hi.
you, Claire. Welcome our special guest. So you use the hashtag that scarlet dress,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I brought that. I
Oh,
actually
and
have
look
it
forward to
here.
seeing more of it.
Oh yeah, we got to do the window and me sleeping on the side. Oh yeah, yeah, we will.
Yes. What a cool collaboration.
Yep, that's us. The window project. It's kind of funny how that idea came to me. I had just moved to Seattle from Rochester. I mean, everything had happened so fast that I moved here somewhat quickly, and then COVID happened, and everything was closed, and I felt bad for my son Henry for having nothing to do and being so isolated. So I used the Nextdoor app and I reached out to neighbors and asked if anybody was getting rid of any art supplies. And, we had to be socially distanced. So people were leaving things on the porch and would let me know and I would come and pick them up. And one of the pickups, I walked up and I saw through the window there was a woman there, and she started signing to me, and I was like, oh, cool, she's deaf. And we did some chit chat. She asked me where I was from, and I thanked her for the items, and went to go pick them up, and I looked back up at her, and it just really hit me. It was just this beautiful moment where I'm thinking, we're not alone. I mean, we're alone, but we're together. And my twin sister is very supportive of me, and I was talking to her about this, and we came up with this idea of in between us, because we've always talked about the in between moments. When life happens, but really it's the in between moments that are really beautiful. I think about when I'm behind a lens and there's a family and they've gotten ready, and then they all sit in front of me and smile and get ready for a picture. Really, it's the beautiful moments is kind of the chaos right before then. And we were thinking about how we're twins and we've always wanted to collaborate on a project. So that's why we changed in between us, this glass, this window between us, we changed it to in between us. Because it's our collaboration. It's a twin project, even though she's in the Bay Area and I'm in Seattle.
And then you added 3 other deaf women, and suddenly it became a nationwide project.
Yes. Amelia, she's in Austin. She contacted me and said, I love this project. Can I work with you guys on this? And Claire and I talked, how can we involve people with this? And we decided that if people just use the hashtag it used to be our between twin us as the hashtag, but we decided, all these people were asking if they could submit to the project, and we decided that people could just use the hashtag the in between us. And we kind of became a community of working together, and everybody doing these projects, looking through the windows in their area. And we decided we wanted this to be a service to the community, like not just a way to make income, but more a way for us to look back and remember this. And, in the future, people can look back at this and remember this very strange time.
Yes. I think I'm interested in how you got into photography, but first I'll ask, what was your first taste of creativity?
Ever since I was a kid. My grandfather, he was a photographer, and my mom's a photographer. It's not as her career. She could have been. She's just never pursued it, but she did have a love of photography. I have this picture in my head of her with her Minolta camera and her green camera bag, and she'd be, excited about taking a picture of something. And I remember playing with that camera. You would look through it. It had this kind of old-fashioned way of trying to focus something where it's half of a sphere and you have to get them to line up to get it to focus. I remember playing with that, and that satisfaction of clicking the camera has never left me. My sisters and I used to be really creative. We also used to have this huge camera we put on our shoulder and videotape things, the really old-fashioned one for VHSs, and we've always been creative.
So when did you realize that you could become an artist, a professional photographer?
It was actually a teacher in high school that really made me think about myself and my photography. There was a picture I had, and I still have it. He said, "Wow, you have it." And I was like, "Yeah, I have a camera." I didn't understand what he meant. He was like, "No, you have it. You have to work at it, but you could make a career out of this." And looking back, I feel like he saw that in me. And I did have to pursue it, like he said, but I don't think I really realized until I started making money. I was like, I could do this. And I do have my other job, but I also do this on the side.
Many deaf artists go through a process of learning and self-discovery, finding a niche that often doesn't incorporate cultural identity until later in their journey when they realize the value of their story. For some, it happens earlier than others. Can you tell us about your journey?
Talking about this with my son in the car. My work, my photography, it's not about being deaf. At the same time, because I am deaf, I am able to really focus very easily and tune everything else out. And of course, my experiences as a deaf person and trying to find the pulse of a situation, reading a situation, these different layers that are visual that other people may not be able to see. I have this understanding of, maybe what's going to happen next I can read a room. And that's my deaf instinct. So, of course, that's included in my photography. But I don't think about it because I don't think about being deaf. I just don't. And it's not about me. I'm taking pictures for a deaf culture. It's how I see the world. It's my experiences, how I feel. I feel like when I'm taking a picture, it is what is the feeling in that room, in that space. So I guess you could say, yes, my deaf culture does come out through the lens, and it is nice to not have to be distracted by auditory noise, and I can get just into what I'm looking at through the camera.
And using the camera as a deaf eye, so to speak, to capture specific moments that maybe other people would miss.
And yeah, that's right, but I don't think about it. I don't. I just don't think about it. When I describe myself, I think of myself as a mother, as a photographer. I'm a twin sister. And oh yeah, that's right, I'm deaf. It doesn't mean that I'm not proud of my deaf culture. Oh, it's precious to me. But to me, being deaf is normal. Like, why would I point it out?
I wonder, did you have any deaf photographers that you looked up to maybe while you were growing up?
No deaf photographers, honestly. The people who captured my attention and inspired me was like Robert Frank, Gary Winogrand, and Henry Cartier-Bresson. Men, unfortunately, but their work, particularly Robert Frank, he really inspired the Window Project in me. He captured what American life was like during the Great Depression. And I feel like we're trying to capture with the Window Project what we're going through, but no deaf photographers, unfortunately.
People love following your photography, of course. What advice do you have for those who are just starting out in photography? Any tips?
I would say to really pay attention to the world, pay attention to the moments that are happening, and play. Play with your camera. It doesn't have to be fancy equipment. Really, you should do it every day. If you do it every day and play around, you'll gather the skills. And please reach out to other photographers. Most of the time, they're ready and willing and excited to talk about it. And make sure you find people who want to engage with you and support you. But really, I'd say play every day with the camera.
How did you develop your style?
I think it's perfect that you asked this because people start to think of this as a competition, that photographers should compete, and it's not. It's community. I think of everybody, think about wine, and the process of making wine is very similar with each grape, but you think about who took care of those grapes, what was the air like where the grapes grew, and all of those things affect what the wine tastes like. And I don't think I have a style. It's more that I love to write with light. I love to, if I see something that's so beautiful, like it's so beautiful it's killing me, I have to capture it. I think that's probably my style. I love how everything is, and I just want to capture that honesty of whatever's happening. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I have a style.
A good point. I think people don't realize they already have their own style. It's part of who they are. It's part of their process. And I think that people just want to make themselves better at their craft. And you have a very unique style. People want what you have. People see what you're capturing. I think the important thing is people need to figure out their own style for themselves.
I mean, that's right. I mean, you can try to be, if you want to emulate somebody else, you end up not being who you are. You have to kind of love your awkwardness. I mean, I'm still nervous. I am always nervous. Every person, every session. It doesn't matter. It's because I want to do well. I want to do right by everybody. I want to make everybody happy. I want to give you whatever you want out of that session. And I feel like the more people know who I am, then their expectations get higher and higher. And I feel like what's important is how I'm connecting with you in the session. It's a reflection of my relationship with you. And I also want to use my voice. I guess you could say that's my style. It's a better way to develop yourself is to make sure your voice is heard.
How would a person who is new to photography wanting to learn go about improving their craft?
Play with it, experiment, find which editing program you like best. I mean, just play and contact your mentors. Find a mentor. I mean, my sister Claire, were able to be, completely honest with each other. Like, hey, what do you think about this? You should edit it this way. And it's how we get better. And so all the people that are now involved with the In Between Us project, we call each other the Window Sisters. And we give each other feedback. And I think you need to find your group and find people you can be honest with and support. On Instagram, I started this theme project where once a week, like for example, right now we're going through the alphabet and we're on Q. And it's interesting because we're all deaf and we're all female deaf photographers, but we try and take a picture according to the theme, and we surprise each other and we support each other. Like some of us are saying, what the heck am I going to do with Q? And we'll give each other feedback and really push each other outside of our comfort zones. And the rule is when we post it, we have to post it all at the same time. And when someone clicks on someone's picture, you will be connected to the hashtag a sense of vision loop. And that means, you click on mine, that'll bring you to the next female deaf photographer person who's involved with this. And you'll go through this whole loop. And so we're all kind of connected and raising each other up at the same time. And sometimes someone will be like, no, you guys are so good, I don't belong here. And we're like, no, keep going. We want you to be a part of this. And it's a really nice sense of community.
Do you know, and I'm not even sure if this is documented, but do you know how many deaf photographers there are in the United States right now?
Actually, in the window project, someone mentioned, where are the people of color photographers? And that has continued to be a struggle for me, especially as a woman. And I'm sorry, but I'm a survivor. I am like very pro-woman. I'm sorry, I'm into that.
Oh, I get it. I am right there with you.
So people of color, there are not enough photographers that are people of color that are represented. And I was asking myself, it caused a lot of self-analysis. Like, how can I reach out? Like, what can I do? I just feel like there's not enough people of color who are represented. So I found a photographer and I reached out to her and she was like, okay. I was like, I'm so excited. I'm sorry, but a woman photographer, this person of color, I was just so excited to find somebody, and I just wish I saw more of that.
Photographers of color, please share your website with us. We would love to learn about your work.
Yeah, that would be great.
As you know, COVID-19 has impacted everyone and everything, especially the arts. Many performing arts and companies are closed and many are laid off. How can we support the arts and artists like you?
When someone actually takes the time to contact me, I'm not flippant about it. It really makes me so happy, and it really moves me to know that I've somehow impacted someone's life. So how do you support an artist? I mean, let them know that you've made an impact on their day or shed some positive light on their life, and recognize their work or share their work. Genuinely recognize artists. That's how I think we can be a big support to artists during this time.
That's a good reminder that we should not be using or stealing people's photography without paying or crediting them for it. It is not cool.
It is really important to recognize an artist's work, and if you want to use their work, that's fine, but please give them credit. I guess you could say I'm honestly vain as a photographer. I mean, when someone wants to share my work, I'm thrilled, but please just give me the credit.
And I'd like to add one more thing here in support of deaf artists, is that deaf artists, deaf-owned businesses deserve full pay for their work. If you're booking a photography session and you think it's expensive, that's the regular rate. Deaf artists don't owe you a discount.
Yeah, I remember at the beginning of this, I would be, okay, fine, fine, and I would take any job. But now I've learned to say no, and it's been hard when someone tells me that they can't afford it. I say, okay, can't do this. But a certain quota of my work, I make sure benefits the community. I know, I realize that some people can't afford this, and they deserve to have good pictures of their family. Where is that balance? I'm not sure, but I do try and find that balance.
What is your next project? I know that In Between Us is almost going to be over. I know that you had agreed for it to be a 1 year project starting and ending on May 15th. So, what's next for you?
I guess it'll come to me. I do have another project. I call it 313. You can go and look at it. It's where I'm always sleeping on my side in a certain way, and I've been doing that, and that's definitely going to be an ongoing project for sure. It's just kind of what comes up, like In Between Us. That kind of fell into my lap. I was paying attention, and it came to me, and I'm sure something else will come up. I'm not the type of person to force anything. I know there's other things that are going to show up.
Well, I look forward to seeing what comes next. Now, in closing, I have a few Deaf Spotlight questions for you. What's your favorite sign?
I could never answer that question. Nope, can't answer that question.
No problem. What's your least favorite sign?
Oh, this sign.
What's your deaf bang?
This sign. I don't know. I use that a lot, and also this. Ugh.
What talent would you like to have?
If I could have any skill, I would be a scientist who could terraform Mars.
What word or emotion would you like people to remember you by?
I would say caring.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and talking about your experience and your journey as a deaf professional artist.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
thank you. And thank you for asking me.